a little Blue Devil in her. See if I can't get that head gasket to seal up. We'll see how we're doing. Took the thermostat out, flushed it, put the thermostat, as you can see there's the thermostat right there. Put the hoses back on, put the sprout back on, filled it up with water, started it up. The engine was cold, by the way, and then I slowly poured the Blue Devil in, then topped it off with water, and put the cap on it. I burnt the system a little bit too to get the air out of it. And I've started the timer just a few minutes ago for 50 minutes. And as you can see by the tailpipe, I'm getting a little bit of white smoke. You can see a little bit coming out right there. Hopefully that'll clear up here just shortly. I've had a lot of trouble out of this thing here. It's a 99 GMC Sonoma. And originally started out, the engine temperature got up to about 210 degrees, which I think that's fairly normal, or maybe a little bit high, not too much. But it started boiling over into the reservoir, and I had talked to a guy about buying the truck, and she has about 143,000 miles on it. And I changed the oil, and I said, well, shoot, while I'm at it, might as well go ahead and put him a new thermostat in it, flush it out, put some new coolant, got the water, clear. I put the hose in at the top, radiator hose, flushed it through the bottom, drained the radiator, flushed it out as best as I could, and put the new thermostat in, and put a gallon of antifreeze in there, pressed on, and then topped it off the rest of the way with water. Closed it up, and I drove it just a few miles to get it heated up and everything. And what I noticed was the top hose here got really, really hot, and it was hard. I mean, I couldn't press it in like I'm doing it right now. Same way with the bottom hose. And so I come back home, let it cool off a little bit, and release the pressure on it. I went and bought a new cap. And I don't know if O'Reilly Auto Parts gave me the wrong cap or not, but it started, I run it for a little while with a fail-safe thermostat in it, and apparently that thing opened halfway or something, and pressure got so bad in there that the bottom hose, when I turned it off, it started leaking out of the bottom. The pressure had to go somewhere, but it wasn't going over into the reservoir like it should. And so I said, man, this thing had me stumped, trying to figure it out and everything. So I said, well, dang, I had the old cap in the back of the truck, so I took the new cap off, and I burnt the system again, let the thermostat open, and take that back. I had to take that other thermostat back out and put a new, just a regular one in, which you see right here. I think it was 195 degrees, 192, something like that. And put it in and sealed it back up, topped it back off with coolant, and burnt the system again and put the old radiator cap back on, which, as you can see, that's what's on there. And some of the stuff sprayed out everywhere. You can see I had Blue Devil in it before. But that radiator cap, I guess, was causing problems. But what I ended up actually doing was I bought a new radiator, and I put 2 new hoses, 4 clamps on it, and she seems to be doing pretty good. But I started getting that little bit of white smoke at the back coming out of the tailpipe, and which everybody I talked to, even searching YouTube and Google and Bing, it seemed like it was a slight head gasket. Or hopefully that was about all it was. We're going to see how well this stuff works. The guy at AutoZone told me that he said it'll seal it. Pretty much he said it will seal it. He said, Blue Devil, this is a good product to get. And we'll see. I've got about 30 more minutes left before I take and drive it. I'm going to let it cool down just a little bit and then see what we got. The directions on this Blue Devil. Hold on just a second, let me get my glasses out where I can see it. The directions, as you can see right here, it says cooling system must be clean and free-flowing before applying Blue Devil engine sealant. So I had to remove the thermostat, and I flushed the cooling system through the bottom radiator hose. And I didn't use Blue Devil radiator flush because I didn't need to. Got a brand new radiator. Then I flushed it with water. I filled the cooling system with water, and I left enough room to add the Blue Devil. And I put the whole entire quart in there. I just want to make sure it gets done, gets it sealed. And it said remove the radiator cap and start the engine while cold. Turn the heater on to max, and with the engine idling, slowly pour the Blue Devil in the radiator. Take about 1 minute to pour the entire bottle, 30 seconds for a half a bottle. After pouring the Blue Devil slowly, let the vehicle idle with cap on for 50 minutes. I set my timer on my phone. You don't need to flush the system a second time after the process is complete. It says, after a test drive, let engine cool before installing new thermostat. That's just a safety precaution. Refill with compatible antifreeze. And since the antifreeze was new that I put in there, I bet I hadn't rode 7 miles on it. I just drained it out, and I'm going to put the rest of that in there. And I bought me another gallon to top it off, get a little bit better mixture or whatever. But this 32-ounce bottle was on sale at AutoZone for $55.99. I think it saved about $10. So if you were to buy 2 16-ounce bottles, they were like $36 to $37 a piece. So you come out a little bit better buying the big one. So we'll see. I've got the heat on. It's getting warm, but it's not that much. Pretty good old croak. You know anybody want to buy a boat? I still have just a little bit of white smoke, not much. Just a little bit. You barely can see it. Barely can see it. Don't worry about that bed in the back. I'm getting rid of that. The old truck runs pretty good. Got 143,552 miles on it. Little 4-cylinder. Does pretty good. My son drove it through college for 4 years. And I think we actually bought it used, and it had about 68,000 miles on it in 2007. So I've had it for roughly 7 years. And this is the only problem that I've really had out of it. This, and I put an alternator on it a while back. Other than that, it's a pretty good truck. We're going to see what the Blue Devil head gasket sealer does to it. I'll have another video just shortly to let you know what the results are. Thank you.